Welcome to another episode of Cocktail or Neat. I'm Heather, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make a cocktail, the old-fashioned, with a slight twist. This is a classic bourbon cocktail, but I am going to have a little something different in there that makes it extra special and really good. And the bourbon of choice tonight is the Makers Mark FAE-01, which we found the other day at the liquor store. We did get a chance to taste this previously, and I thought it would be really good in a cocktail. So I've snuck down here to make a cocktail really fast so my husband doesn't know. So let me show you how to make this old-fashioned, and we'll see how it tastes with this Maker's Mark. Okay, so we're going to start with the bourbon first, and we want to do 1.5 ounces of the bourbon. And the bourbon can be any choice you want. Of course, I would recommend doing something that's a little more special than just something you would regularly mix with like a bourbon and Coke, right? You want something with great flavor profiles, because this is going to be your main liquid in your drink. That's pretty much all you're going to be tasting. And you're going to pour it into a shaker with some ice. Although we're not actually going to be shaking this, we're just going to be stirring it. Get the cap back on. Okay, next up would be the sweet, because in an old-fashioned, you've got the bourbon, and then you've got a sweet, and then you've got a bitter. So sweet, it's normally a sugar cube that you would meddle in your shaker, but the twist is maple syrup. So we're going to get some really good flavors that match a lot of what we get in the bourbon. You know, you normally get the brown sugar, so the maple is going to be really good. It's just going to stir together really nicely, and extra special flavors going on rather than just plain sugar. So I'm going to do 1/2 ounce of maple syrup and add that to my shaker. And then, as I mentioned, the last thing will be the bitters. And this is where you can have a lot of fun and get creative. Okay, so you could do any old-fashioned by doing something sweet. You could just stay basic with sugar, and then you can have a lot of fun with different types of bitters, because there's all kinds out there you can find. I have found a chocolate bitters, which is great. It's by Woodford, and it's also got some hints of kind of aged bourbon barrel in there too. This is the classic Angostura bitters, which is kind of basic spices going on. It's going to go well with the maple syrup and the bourbon, and then I'm going to have the orange peel at the end too, so they'll all come together. Nice warm flavors. There's seriously all kinds of bitters out there. I don't need that. I just need to do a dash. Just a dash of the bitters in here, and we're going to stir it all up together. So you can stir it for about 30 seconds. Right, if you had your sugar, you can meddle your sugar in there for a bit. Get all the flavors to muddle together. This is definitely a way to impress your guests, a great cocktail before dinner. It's just really light, but it's still really flavorful. And again, like I mentioned, you can have fun with all different types of bourbon with this as well. All right, and now we're going to strain this into a glass with ice. How pretty that is. Okay, then the finishing touches. I've got some maraschino cherries, and I'm going to add one for a nice garnish, and spooning it lets me get some of that extra syrup in there as well. So in goes my cherry, and then the last thing is that orange peel for garnish as well. So I've already got the peel from my orange here. And what I'll do is I'll just run it around the edge of the glass, get a lot of those oils out. And then to get a little extra, I'm going to kind of wring it to get a little more of the oils out of the peel, and then just drop it in the cocktail. Make sure it's in there. And we're good to go. Let's give it a try. Yes, this is delicious. I love the maple syrup in there. It makes me think of pancakes, honestly. Like, this would be great for a fun brunch as well. So have this with some pancakes. Please enjoy an old-fashioned with me, and I'll see you next time.